Glad you're here. Got a surprise guest for you tonight.
Hey!
We're waiting just a minute. There he is.
What up, fam?
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Man, I'm surviving.
You got the
And
corn beard.
it's growing out. We're letting it grow out. We're going Wolverine style, bro.
I like it.
How are you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. We're making it. Quarantine is a struggle, bro.
The
But
struggle is real,
the
but
struggle is real.
people don't know how real the struggle is until they have 3 boys.
Exactly. I'm saying it's different. It hits different when you got 3 little dudes running around.
How are they? Or how are they doing?
They're good. They're wild, but
Yeah.
for the most part, they're good. They're watching Karate Kid right now, so we have a
Ooh.
few moments
You know, I feel
undisturbed.
like this is the one benefit of quarantine season is that I'm introducing my boys to some real classics right now.
It's important.
They're not just
What are
watching
you?
YouTube Kids
What
and
are you? What are you playing for them?
well, last night was Space Jam. That was a hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
timeless.
Yes. They were loving that. My son asked me, he was like, "Did you watch Bugs Bunny when you were a kid?" I was like, "Son, I hate to admit this, but it's true."
Yeah, we
We
did.
we didn't have Ryan's toy review, okay? All we had was Bugs Bunny.
Right. Isn't that
These kids
crazy?
don't know. I do think the next movie for us is the Three Ninjas,
Oh,
the three
strong.
brothers. Yeah, and I think
Oh,
that that's
I didn't
something
even
that's.
think about that.
I know. It's something that 3 boys, 3 kids. It's time for them to be introduced. So,
Absolutely.
um, bro, thanks for joining tonight. Tell Brittany we love her. Just saying
I
hi.
will. I will. All of my followers are like, "Who's Brittany?"
Oh, I'm sorry, Lorna.
Yeah,
Tell Lorna.
yeah. There you go. There you go. At Lorna Brittany.
Tell Megasurf. Tell Megasurf 3 that we said hello.
Absolutely.
No, man. Thanks for joining in tonight, bro. I just wanted to take some time and really just kind of let you speak into um, just really Christian life, Austin, our young adult group who it's been a crazy season for everybody, but I just want to kind of get your thoughts on where we're at. We meet once a week just to kind of hang out and talk with our lead team, and it's really been a crazy season for us. Some things have come up that I feel like a season like this is something that it doesn't necessarily automatically build character. It reveals it. It reveals
Oh,
some things that are going on in our lives, and I just kind of want you to take a moment to maybe speak to what you're going through right now and what you're experiencing and how that kind of can inspire us, man.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me on here. I don't really have much inspiration. Um, I will just say this has been very difficult for me.
Yeah, yeah, for
You
sure.
know, and to put it in context with people that are in real dire need and
Yeah,
awful situations, I don't want to minimize that at all.
absolutely.
But, you know, my whole marriage has been built on the reality of me traveling.
Yeah,
So it's all of those little touches that I had, like flying on the plane and reading or listening to a podcast or
yeah,
listening to a sermon, that whole flow, of having some time to like get my thoughts together and
yeah,
all of that. That's all completely been gone for the last several weeks.
yeah,
And there's a unique demand now on, obviously homeschooling and all of that kind of stuff, but also trying to
yeah,
be available for things like this and other online things and
yeah,
songs and all of that. And it's a constant flow. So it's
yeah,
been tough getting like any sort of rhythm or any sort of sense of a flow,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And maybe there are people out there that kind of feel that with me, that this just doesn't feel normal. But
Yeah, for
what
sure,
I
man.
what I think has been cool for me is it's shaking up my value system of
Yeah.
what is truly essential. That's been the big word, you know,
Yeah.
essential workers. Of course, we know that essentials is a fear of God brand. You know, Jerry Lorenzo, you know what I'm saying? Um, but I was just thinking about that tonight, actually, about getting back to the foundational attitudes of our hearts
Yeah.
that determine our mindset, our joy, our peace, and where we're getting it from.
Yeah.
And I'm just challenged in that being busy does not equal being fruitful.
Right.
That all the things I thought I was doing to keep up whatever have now gone away. So what is truly
Yeah.
essential, you know?
Right.
So that's where my head has been personally.
Yeah.
I've just been trying to figure it out like everybody else.
Yeah. For sure, man. And I know, for me, I'm a 7 on the Enneagram.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I needed the downtime for like the first 2 days. And then
Yeah.
after that, I was like, where's everybody at?
What
Well,
are we doing?
the only consolation I have in all this is that I know I don't have a lot of FOMO because nobody else is having fun. If everybody else is having fun, I was stuck at home. This would be a problem. Um,
Yep.
but I think for me, one of the things that I feel like has been just an eye-opening experience for me is that it's been good for a 7 to slow down. You
Yeah.
know, I get my energy from going, and
Right.
and I think it's been a season 2 for me where I've been able to reevaluate, what is important, where do I spend my time, and not just my time as far as ministry goes, but where do I spend my.
Frozen.
Are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, you froze.
You there, bro?
Yes.
All
Sorry.
right, we're back.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
But I think one of the things that is hard is, because I get my sense of purpose from being around people and my energy, I think maybe the thing that I want to ask is, how do you feel like you're living on purpose when it feels like we're all in isolation? When a lot of us get our purpose from people, how do you kind of navigate that that idea that you're living in purpose and maybe on purpose?
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about this global reset is
Yeah.
that we discover where we derive our true purpose.
Yeah.
And it's not from being around people and making them all feel like they're having a great time. And
Yeah.
for me, I was literally talking to my wife about this today. I was like, there is no metric for success
Yeah.
in this context. And it's driving me crazy because it's
Coming
like,
from a 3.
yes, I'm Enneagram 3, which is the achiever, the performer.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know, okay, I'm not really capitalizing on this moment
Yeah.
because I want to be respectful of what the moment is.
Sure.
So I'm not just trying to like, what can I do to get ahead in this time?
Yeah.
And then, the metric for parenting, I
Yeah.
mean, we're not going to know if we did a good job for 35 more years.
You know,
So there's,
dude, it's so funny that you say that because I tell people all the time in ministry, like every night when I lay my head down, did I do a good job? I won't know for 30 years.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Time is the true test. And
Yes.
so all of the little things that we go to get affirmation
Yeah.
have been taken away. And that's why I'm talking about getting back to the essential things.
Yeah.
If we're not getting, I don't care who you are or what season of life you're in, if you're not getting your identity from Jesus, then you will never truly reveal your purpose.
Yeah.
And when all of the world fades away, not to be cliche, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to be left lost and lonely and empty and unfulfilled
Yeah.
and trying to figure out, who am I and what does this mean? You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been trying to choose revival. I just spoke this last Sunday night in
Yeah.
our young adult service. And when I was preparing the message, I went into our room and I was like, well, I know now. I told my wife, I know why this sermon has been so difficult to just tackle. And it
Yeah.
was only a 10-minute talk. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this should be the easiest thing of all time. And it was so hard. But once I got quiet before the Lord and he started dealing with some things in me, it was, how are you going to make the most of this time spiritually?
Yeah.
How are you going to engage with Jesus? And
Yeah.
a lot of us are missing church, and we're missing people, and we're
Yeah.
missing programming, and we're missing the hype.
Yeah.
And as we long for those things, we're missing this opportunity to connect to Jesus. So
Right.
that's where I'm trying to move my heart toward, is the success doesn't matter. The old formats don't matter. Like, time and God's presence is
Yeah.
the most essential. And it's so, like,
Yeah.
you feel ridiculous saying it, but there are so many people in everyday ministry and in everyday life that are missing the most essential component, and
Yeah.
that is time with Jesus.
Right. That's so good, dude. You know,
Yeah, I wish it was more profound,
no.
but
That's what it is, man. And I feel like, to me, you know, I was speaking to my team just last night, and I, coming from a place of ministry and, you know, having some of your identity in the fact that, like, you're a pastor, you do these things. I think the thing that I've been thinking about this past week is, you know, am I doing this for the right reason? You know, am I doing it for the affirmation? Am I doing it, you know, to get something out of it? Or am I doing it because a long time ago Jesus called me, I laid my life down,
yeah,
and now I'm walking through these things that might be difficult and might be something that isn't the easiest thing to do anymore, and I'm having to ask myself, did I do it for the right reason?
yep,
You know, am I walking through this because he called me, or am I walking through it because there's a benefit to it?
right,
And, you know, and I think that that's where, you know, a lot of us as Christians are at. Like, you know, are we doing this because we're laying our lives down and taking up our cross?
right.
And
That's
it's
so
not
good.
it's not easy, but like you said, man, it is essential for us to do that and reevaluate where we're at right now, and to just make a daily commitment to say, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to
Yeah,
lay my life down again. I'm going to reevaluate why I'm doing this. You know, and I
yeah,
just think that that's the benefit of isolation. You know, I think about a seed that goes in the ground. It has to be isolated for there to be growth.
yeah,
Without that season of isolation, there's going to be a moment where it brings forth fruit, that it buds. But until there's that that berry, that dark, that season where people don't see what's happening underneath the ground,
yeah,
there's never that fruit. And I think that that's what's
absolutely.
happening in the church right now. That's what's happening in a lot of our hearts, is that there's some isolation. And while isolation isn't the destination, it is important that it happens right now.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and you know, bro, I don't think for a minute God sends things like this, but I do believe that he uses things like this.
For sure. If we'll
Yeah.
allow him to. When
Yeah.
when when Jesus started his earthly ministry, he went into the wilderness for 40 days of isolation.
Yeah. Talk about it, bro.
When he went to the cross, before
Yeah.
he went to the cross, he went into a garden,
Yeah.
into isolation
Yeah.
to pray.
Yeah.
Before he came out as the resurrected Savior, he was isolated
Yeah.
in a tomb for 3 days.
Yeah.
In the New Testament church, Acts 2, it's 120 people isolated in an upper room
Mm-hmm.
And that is the place where God decides to set his church on fire. And it is
Yeah.
the very first time in scripture where the fire is purposed for each individual. God uses fire all throughout the Bible,
Yeah.
pillars of fire and all of
Yep.
that as his presence and his power. But in Acts 2, it's the first time that the fire is connected to the individual experience.
Yeah.
And I think that what you're saying is so true, and it is right on point for this time, that revivals are produced in isolation.
Yeah.
Miracles are produced in isolation.
Yeah.
Transformation is
Yeah.
produced from isolation.
Yeah.
So we have to allow it to happen, to
Yeah.
embrace the moment, to embrace the pressure, the tension, the uneasy feeling, how
Yeah.
uncomfortable it is, so that God can get the most out of it for us.
Yeah.
That's the hope. And that's easier said than done, but that's the hope. And once we um, receive that experience in private, there is
Yeah.
a public outflow. And that's what I feel like God is going to use all of this for, is to set the individuals within the church on fire, so
Yeah.
that when we step out into the world, people are asking, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Explain this to me.
Dude, I love it, bro. So good, man. And I think too, for all of us, we just need to be reminded of that,
Mm-hmm.
especially, for the people that are stressed out in this season. It's easy to talk about it, but when I got kids screaming upstairs and fighting over who's got the baseball bat,
Right.
it's hard to think about that. It's hard to
Right.
keep that spiritual truth in my mind. But there is something that if you can have the discipline to say, God, during this season, work in me, do the things that I can't do on my own, do what I can't do by myself. He
Yep.
starts to kind of just do his thing.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. And that's one thing too that you're kind of stepping into, that I've been thinking about, is, when you are alone, or you're surrounded by craziness and all of that, it's a difficult thing to choose happiness. And in times like these, we really find out where we're getting our joy from. And there's been a lot of mornings where I've woken up and my face is just
yeah.
scrunched, bro. Just, ticked off for no reason. And it's like, oh, it's because it's Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day. Yes.
But
Oh,
I
man.
was reading in Matthew the Beatitudes.
Yeah.
And the Beatitudes, it's the first time Jesus is teaching a large group of people. And he's going through all of it's got a rhythm and a cadence to it, but
Yeah.
he's talking
Yeah.
about, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, all that.
Yeah.
And the word blessed there means happy.
Mm-hmm.
So in the very first time that we have Jesus speaking to a
Yeah.
large group of people, he is telling them how to be happy.
Yeah.
But it's the most unexpected route to happiness. It is so countercultural.
Right.
In our day and age, happiness is success, it's power,
Yeah.
notoriety, followers.
Yep.
I mean, you fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And he's saying, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they inherit the earth. Blessed are they which hunger and thirst after righteousness. They will be filled. He's saying, happy are the merciful, for they get mercy. Happy are the pure in heart. We're talking about motivation, right?
Yeah.
They get to see God.
Yeah.
Happy are peacemakers. Happy are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Happy are you when men rival against you and persecute you. It's this unexpected route to happiness. And perhaps in the middle of a quarantine, we are finding the true route to what happiness really looks like. and it is not grounded or rooted in any of the superficial things that
Yeah.
we place our happiness and our joy in. And
Yeah,
if we
man.
can walk away with some of these truths, we walk into the next season of this life when this is over
Yeah.
completely different with a fresh perspective
Yeah.
on life.
Yep. Bro, that's so good, dude. And and I feel like a lot of these things are processes. Getting to this
Absolutely.
place and understanding this, it's a process. But if there's anything I've learned in life and in ministry, like if you skip the process, you gotta stay at the same place.
That's right.
And I don't want to stay in this season. I want there to be progress in my life. I don't want to skip the process of what God's trying to do in my life right now, because I do know this. I'll skip the process and I'll stay exactly where I'm at.
Right.
And then I wonder why I didn't benefit from what God was trying to do in my life. It's because I tried to avoid the pain. I tried to skip ahead, and you can't. You got to embrace this season right now for what it
Right.
is and allow God to do what he wants to do in this, in this season.
That's right. That's right.
Bro,
That's fire. These people need to
love,
drop some fire emoticons in the comments, because this is a heat wave coming through your Instagram.
bro, I got to tell you, I love you so much. You know, you're my boy. I thank you for tuning in with us. But I just got to tell you, I appreciate representing the Astros championship hat right now.
I knew what you were stepping into. I knew where you were going.
And I appreciate the loyalty to the brand. I saw the other night, during Celebrity Hangman, you were repping the Pistons, which I appreciate. Which, by the way, I learned a lot about them last night during the last day.
Yeah. Do you hate them more?
No, you know what? I really don't. They made Jordan who he really was. They pushed him.
It's
and
true. That's why LeBron will never be Jordan. He doesn't have the Pistons to go through.
He needed that person, that team to just push him. And they were bad boys. I don't appreciate them walking off, without. Dude, you can see Jordan's face when he's just standing there with his arms,
bro,
and walking right by. It was cold.
It was
cold.
Larry Bird did the same thing, though. Nobody talked about it.
Let's not get caught up in the details.
Yeah,
right, man. But dude, I just want you to know, man, I love you, bro, and I just appreciate you and who you are and the life that you live. We're on a public platform right now, but I've known you for a really long time, man. And the thing that I love about you the most is that you take people along with you in the journey. And somebody asked me the other day on one of these Instagram things, they were like, what do you look for in leadership? And I said, compassion, kindness. A lot of people have great leadership skills, and a lot of people, they want to be somebody that, people want to follow. And while that's great and that's good, not everybody has a heart for others. And I've seen your heart for others, man. And I just want you to know I love you, bro.
Thank
You've been
you,
an inspiration
man.
to me in my life, and you've spoken into my life when a lot of people didn't see what was there, man. And I just want to say thank you publicly for that, bro.
Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate that, man. Love you too. Somebody asked on here, why can't men tell each other they love each other? Literally, someone wrote that earlier. Well, here you go. I love you, man.
I don't know who that is, but I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I'm the guy that's like, hey, I love you. And they're like, I gotta go, bro.
Yeah, like, too soon. I remember the first time you told me you love me, I was like, do you really?
Are you sure?
Now I know it's true.
I've been saying it for years, bro, so it's there.
I've been saying it for years. I don't mean it. So
that's right. Well, dude, I love you, man.
Thank you for that.
Again, I love you. I got to end with that. But man,
love you too, dude. Thanks for having me on, bro.
You've spoken in our lives, and it's something that is going to minister to a lot of people. So I thank you for it, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, dude.
All right, dude. Tell the fam we love them.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
Love you, bro.
Love you too. See ya. Bye.